Hi folks, welcome to a brand new episode of CNB. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Partnkar. We're going to start off this week by talking straight away about a new small car. Now small cars always get me excited, not just because that's where most of our buying segment is, but also because, you know what, it takes a lot more work from any manufacturer to produce a really good small car. This latest one is coming to us from Hyundai Motor. We're talking about the all-new i10. In India, it will be the Grand i10. Here's a look at our first impression on this promising new car.
It's something we've seen before from so many car makers in India. Keep the predecessor and launch the successor with another name, positioned higher. Hyundai did that with the Santro and the i10, the Accent and the Verna, and now it's doing it again with the global placement of the i10. The second generation car you see is the pre-production test mule, and hence it's covered in camouflage. Just like Maruti, Hyundai wants to offer multiple hatchbacks at multiple price points between 3 and 8 lakh rupees. The company believes that there is a gap and an opportunity between the i10 and the i20, and so this car will come to us as the Grand i10.
Now, despite all the camouflage, from the front you can clearly make out that the Grand i10 has a wide stance to it, and from the side you can clearly see the longer wheelbase. In fact, interestingly, the Grand i10 has about 100 millimeters of extra length compared to the European counterpart IA, which obviously means that there's more space on the inside. Now, a couple of other sporting elements that you can see from the outside are these black roof rails, as well as the overall roof line. You can see a sloping edge to it, giving that sporty character to the car. Importantly, the premium feel to the car, you can really notice on the indicators have the lights on the rear view mirror. Also, the diamond cut alloy wheels give that much more premium feel to the car, really.
Overall, this car is clearly bigger and better than the first Gen i10, and as we said, India is getting the longer wheelbase version, while the new European i10 is going to be more compact. But there is another USP of the Indian car, the big takeaway if you will. The Grand i10 has not just the 1.2-litre Kappa petrol engine, but also the option of the new 1.1-litre U2 CRDI diesel engine. Europe doesn't get the diesel, and it gets only a 1.1-litre petrol, by the way. This second generation 3-cylinder U2 diesel engine makes a good first impression, since despite being a 3-pot, it's low on noise. Both at low and high speeds, the engine comes across as refined and seems mostly clear of any lag. Acceleration is also relatively smooth. The engine has been tuned for city driving and is expected to deliver good fuel economy. The 5-speed manual transmission is quick and smooth, and even the steering is responsive and not too light. So we have to say it's very obvious that this car is designed with the European buyer in mind. We couldn't really test the suspension because we drove on perfectly tarred roads on our short first drive. The Grand i10 will be launched in both petrol and diesel options right at the start. There will also be an automatic petrol variant. Sadly, no diesel auto model yet again. Hyundai is keeping the interiors under wraps for now, but we can tell you that there is sufficient legroom both in the front and the rear, along with decent headroom. The premium feel on the outside is matched inside the cabin as well. Some of the specific changes that have been brought in only on the Grand i10 are two-tone beige and black interiors, rear AC vents, and a larger rear window to give the rear occupants a sense of greater space. Other features include a 2-DIN MP3 player with internal memory on the center console, Bluetooth connectivity, rear parking sensors, push-button start, dual airbags, and ABS. We did get some pictures of the unclad car, and we love the orange paint job. Codenamed the BA at the concept stage to complement its European model IA, Hyundai retains the i10 brand in naming the new car Grand i10 for India. However, in all other markets, this will be the replacement model for the old i10 and will get its global public unveil at the upcoming Frankfurt Motor Show in September. We will have more on this car for you, including a full review and a look at the interior features in a few weeks, right here on CNB.
Right, so lots of promise from that new car from Hyundai. Do you like the naming strategy, Grand i10? In a way, it's good that we're not moving into a completely new name for India. And then there's all those new features coming for the first time in that class. React to it. I'd like your opinions and your thoughts on this new car and what you expect from Hyundai in terms of pricing as well. You know how to do that on Twitter and on NDTV Social. Let's also, in fact, pull out the NDTV app and open up our second screen. I have some questions here that you've sent in that I'm going to answer now. The first one comes from Prem. He asks, why are most automatic transmission cars petrol rather than diesel? Well, Prem, that happens more so the lower the price point and the lower the segment that we go. And you know what? The real reason, very simply, is just pricing. The minute you throw in an automatic transmission, the cost of that transmission is a little bit more than the regular manual, and which is why most companies don't want to jack up that sticker price. Which is also why you find now a lot of companies opting for automatics not with the top-end trim, just to keep the price more attractive. Though we are hopeful that in the near future, as more and more diesel, small diesel engines especially, catch on, you might start to see some diesel automatics as well. We live in hope anyway. Another question coming in from Sebastian. This one asks, is the Audi A3 better or the Mercedes A-Class, especially in the diesel variant? Well, Sebastian, the Audi A3 isn't here yet. But if you compare in the European context, the A-Class is a little bit smaller than the A3 hatch. The A-Class, as of now, is also only available, remember, as a hatchback. The sedan version is called the CLA. We don't have that in India. And in India, when Audi does step in with the A3, it will be a sedan. So it's not a really fair comparison. You might probably see a better proposition overall from Audi, but we'll have to wait and see what variants and what prices come in. One more question we'll quickly squeeze in. This one is coming in from Sandy. It's asking, when do we expect the next version of the Hyundai Santa Fe in India? Well, Sandy, the answer quite simply, the Santa Fe is overdue for launch because the new generation has debuted in most other markets, especially in Europe. The fluidic Santa Fe, if you want to call it that. It arrives in India in 2014. The first debut or the showing will be at the Auto Expo in February, and I expect a market launch by mid-2014. Time for us to slip into a short break here. You know now how you can also post questions on our second screen. Go ahead to the NDTV app and do that. I'll join you on the other side of the break after our sector snapshot. Welcome back to CNB. Huge announcements coming this week from the world's largest manufacturer of two-wheelers, indeed India's largest as well, that is Hero MotoCorp. Now the company is looking at a bold new direction and a whole lot of new products as well. That's the part that interests us, isn't it? A quick peek into the strategy that the company is adopting, and we also managed to catch up with the top man at that company.
Hero MotoCorp has rolled out its 50 millionth two-wheeler, yet another milestone for the world's largest manufacturer of bikes.
50 million bikes! History has been created!
After its divorce from Honda in 2011, Hero has set out on its own path. But there appears to be a new global vision that is now coming to light. Hero plans on expanding its footprint to over 50 countries with 20 manufacturing facilities across the globe and targets 100 million cumulative two-wheelers sold by 2020.
आम कंपनियों के लिए ये पॉसिबल नहीं है, मगर क्योंकि हम बड़े खुशकिस्मत हैं कि हमारे साथ हमारे अपने लोग जो अंदर काम करते हैं, जो फील्ड में हैं, जो हमारे डीलर भाई हैं सबके साथ इतना खूबसूरत रिश्ता है, इतना अच्छा रिश्ता है कि वो हम इसको पॉसिबल कर सके। और जो आगे इन्होंने प्रोग्राम बताया, मुझे ज़रा भी शक नहीं है कि हम उनको पूरा नहीं कर सकेंगे। अपने लोगों को जानते हुए, फील्ड में लोगों को जानते हुए मैं यकीन से ये बात कह रहा हूँ और मुझे उम्मीद है कि हम जल्दी ये पूरा करेंगे।
In the short term, the company plans 12 new products and refreshes in the current fiscal year, and there will be a slew of all new products in 2014.
One particular Indian company that's leading a huge global charge, and perhaps the man who's leading a global transformation in a sense for that company, is Hero MotoCorp's Mr. Pawan Munjal. He's joining us right now. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us.
Always a pleasure.
Likewise. I want to start by talking about the big milestone that Hero has just celebrated. In some ways, the fact that there's a massive number coming from Hero has ceased to surprise us. But in other ways, the surprise comes from the fact that this 50 millionth bike has come much quicker than people would have predicted. So congratulations. How does that make you feel?
Thank you so much. Well, I feel on top of the world, frankly.
Quite literally also.
Quite literally also. As you just said, big numbers at Hero don't surprise us at all. Inside the company, we are so used to these numbers rolling past every month, every quarter, every year. But then it is a big number. There was a debate in the company. Should we talk about this number as 5 crores or should we say 50 million? The consensus was 5 crores. But I overruled the consensus. I thought we should not just be saying that we are becoming a global company. We have to go out there and make our own place, create our own space around the globe in various countries with our brand. So we should all start thinking globally already. We should start talking dollars and millions and billions. So which is why the 50 million. We were talking about these numbers rolling past at a very, very fast pace. While all of us in the company do believe that we are doing large numbers every day, those in the industry, when they hear about these numbers, they really are completely surprised, taken by a complete surprise. Because most of the industry does much, much smaller numbers. Yeah. People outside the industry, maybe they don't realize, they don't understand. So the idea really here was within the company, together with the stakeholders, to celebrate this moment. I personally believe we've created history. It's not that we are the first ones to get to this 50 million mark, but we've done it at a very, very fast pace. I believe that it is probably the fastest ever half century. And I sort of made a pun yesterday that the only faster half century could have been at an IPL event, literally so. So that's the 50 million for you. Yes, it's come at a much faster pace than our previous billions.
Of course, not that you are not used to handling your critics, but that's what everybody says, right? That, oh, hang on, your 50 million bikes that you're talking about, they've come on the back of entry-level bikes. That's all you know how to do, and that's what Hero's prowess, or where Hero's prowess lies. The next 50 million isn't going to come from just that. You have to obviously establish your credentials higher up in different segments. That will be crucial.
Let me say that it's a very simple answer for anyone who says that, and through you I'd like to convey to people, before the 50 million came, it was a bicycle company. There was no motor on the bicycles. There were volumes, yes. It was a relationship-based company. It was a customer-oriented company. It was a company which had values, ethics, And all of that has been carried forward. We put a motor onto the bicycle and we've still done 50 million. And I have no doubt that going forward, we can get into any category of motorcycle or for that matter, two-wheeler, who knows what beyond that.
Next year, you mentioned Diwali is when we're going to see the all new products. We've all been waiting for them. I know that there's a lot of anticipation around it. Perhaps some of it gets built up unevenly by the media. But having said that, while I'm sure I'd love to have all the details from you right now, and I'm sure you're not going to give them to me, what's the crucial area for you to target? What's the area you feel Hero needs to be stronger in?
So you being somebody who's worked so closely with the automotive industry and you've seen so much around the globe at various shows, let me just throw a hint at you that the forthcoming Auto Expo, February 2014, for Hero, it's the first time to showcase our strengths in terms of our own designs, our own technology. And let me say that we will not only not disappoint you, but we are going to make people very, very excited and wait in anticipation for stuff from Hero.
That sounds good, because I think Auto Expo is a great platform as well for that. And you've routinely done that, had strong showings at the Expo.
Always, but this time I'm saying that I'm building up that anticipation already.
Bigger than ever before.
Yes.
Yeah. You look at a setup where that particular partner is not just a manufacturing partner, but also a development partner for a product or a series of products.
So far, we haven't had that opportunity yet, but going forward, I'm keeping a very, very open mind. I'm always looking out for partners, possibly such manufacturing / technology partners who have maybe an established market, established brand. We could always look at that option as well.
And the current tie-ups that you have already entered into, Eric Bull Racing for one, the focus for you as far as future products go and future manufacturing goes, is that largely to say that we are building up our own strength and you want it to be proprietary Hero R&D and Hero technology that actually goes out on the market, or are you looking to source but future engines or future product platforms as a whole as well?
Yeah, it would be a combination of both. Yes, while the eventual one of the bigger objective is to make our own R&D a self-sufficient, self-contained R&D, but my plan clearly is going forward to have a combination of our own self-contained, self-sufficient R&D plus an extended R&D arms in the US, in Europe, or wherever else we can get a good partner.
And the product badging though will always be Hero. I mean, that's going to be your mainstay brand.
Yes, mainstay brand, yes. But again, going forward, it depends on the market, depends on the partner and technology that we get.
One final thing I want to talk about the manufacturing in the future. When you talk about 100 million units by 2020, you're surely talking about a large capacity. And in India now, you're looking at 6 plants in the fairly soon or fairly quickly enough here in the future. But give us a status of your current capacity as well, because I know Neemrana should come on stream fairly soon. But that, as well as how quickly you're going to go about establishing some of this, and eventually how large a network are you looking at in terms of manufacturing? How many plants?
Neemrana should be coming up on stream fairly quickly in the first quarter of next calendar, which is the last quarter of this fiscal. It's very much on stream and going well. We should be soon taking possession of land in Gujarat, probably next month, in the month of September, and then starting construction there as well. So with both these plants coming up, I think we are getting very close to 10 million, or I don't have the exact number. And I've already said that thereafter we would like to go further down south. We don't have yet a manufacturing facility down south. That's what we would like to do thereafter. While all of this is happening, of course, assemblies have already started coming up in Kenya, etc. But we would soon be putting up manufacturing in Colombia. We are looking at putting up manufacturing in Brazil. We are looking at Mexico as well.
And these are all manufacturing plants, not just assembly.
Colombia, Brazil are definitely manufacturing plants. Mexico, I'm sitting here, I'm not yet sure whether it's a assembly or a manufacturing plant. It all depends upon the kind of volumes you need there, and also what are the taxation, local taxations in that country. Sometimes you have regulations where you are required to produce local content. Sometimes you have very high tariffs if you bring in CKD, SKD vis-a-vis manufacturing locally. So it really depends on what happens in that country. But I've also said that by 2020 we should be present in about 50 odd markets with, and all this we would be doing with about 20 odd manufacturing / assembly plants, India and the rest of the globe.
Sky is the limit.
Could be. Yes.
All right. That's a very positive note to end on. Thank you so much. Always great to see you, and
Thank you.
we wish you and your team all the very best.
Thank you very much. We need all the support, all the good wishes.
And look forward to Auto Expo. That's something you left me with. So
Absolutely.
thank you
Yes.
again.
Thank you.
Pawan Munjal speaking exclusively to us here on NDTV and announcing big plans for his company. With that, it's pretty much a wrap here. In case you've been wondering why we've had this mini countryman on the program, well, CNB loyalist Arpit Rathi told me on Twitter just how excited he gets every time he sees this car. So Arpit, this one's especially for you. I hope you're just as excited right now watching it on CNB as well. On that note, I will say goodbye. We have plenty more on the program next week, as we always do. Please keep your suggestions, advice, anything you want to see on the program, all of that coming on Twitter, Facebook, or NDTV Social. Any questions you have, well, go ahead and post them on the second screen of the NDTV app. Bye-bye then, and please wear your seatbelts, please wear your helmets. I'll see you next week.